Well, we wake up, the free world has a new leader, and we're going to do a political podcast. I'm just joking. It's the Shelter FootyCast, live with Will Schofield, Mark Readings, BackChat Studios. Skeeter, I'm surprised you're alive. Yeah. You're back from the races.
I am. It's I just worked it out. 6 days of pretty eventful and socialising, and as someone said, the only time we weren't drinking was when we were asleep. So, which can happen on those sorts of trips. No, good fun. We went with a bunch of guys, some of who you'll know, some you won't, but all have a love of just having a good time together.
I asked you before we got on air here. I said, mate, why? I said, why do you? But I was like, why do we do this to ourselves? And then I considered that question, and it was like, no. Why do we work so bloody hard? And the answer is so we can go and get pissed with our mates.
Have fun. Yeah, it was good. It was great. And
what did you do? What days did you do?
So I did Derby Day and Cup Day. So Thursday you get to acclimatise, you go out that night.
Like a footballer. It's like you're climbing the Himalayas.
Just look at your shirt, I'm not sure what it is. Just there's a bit of, it's a bit rough and ready with this.
Oh, fucking hell.
Anyway, Friday, go to lunch, kick on. Saturday, you're there from the races from 12 and then you get home whatever time the next day. Sunday, go to lunch. Monday, go to lunch. Tuesday, go to the races. Come home Wednesday.
When did you get home? Yesterday.
Got home yesterday. And you know how you got to drink a lot of water when you're tired? I was just tired and emotional. I did back to Cutler winners, not the Cup winner. How could you back the Cup winners?
What happened there?
Seriously. I'll tell you one lady, one mother of two, and there were some people who won good money. Mother of two got the first four, which means you got the first four horses in the Cup. $3.2 million for her $100 investment.
She put $100 on a first four.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Hang on a second.
She went on lucky numbers and gut feeling.
Hang on a sec.
So good luck to her.
No, that hasn't happened.
It's true. Herald Sun's got it in there. It's a story.
You know as well as anyone, given you like
Ladbrokes paid
tickle,
out.
Yeah, giving you like a little tickle on the pun. You're not chucking $100 on an exacta first four, man. Like,
but she might
my lucky numbers.
Well, she might have got $20 from various members of her family. I don't know, but there was that's it. I'm just reading what I saw, and on the day, of course, I think the first four paid like $700,000 when Rick Hart and I was sitting next to him, and we went bloody hell. But good luck trying to get it.
Correct. Well, it's good to have you back here, Skeeter. So, like promised last week, we're going to do one show a week leading into the biggest show of the year. Who knows? The Shelter FootyCast quiz night, Skeeter. Wednesday, 27th of November. Tickets are now live on our Instagram. BackChat, not BackChat, Shelter FootyCast on Instagram. You can find it on our website, shelterfootycast.com.au. Go and get yourself some tickets. It'll sell out really quick, just so you know.
It will sell out?
Yeah, absolutely it'll sell out.
Okay. Is this the inaugural one?
This is the inaugural. Yeah, this is the inaugural. So you and I are going to host.
Very nice. Happy with that. Considering I've got no idea what we're doing apart from asking questions and then a bit like a normal quiz night. Is there anything different to the normal quiz night?
It's a bit like a quiz night, except you and I are hosting it, so it could go anywhere. That'll be down at the Leederville Hotel. So you want to get a group together. I would say, groups of 6, 8, 10, somewhere there.
Or I'll get my daughter to get a couple of her mates.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, we'll just rock up and see what happens.
Okay, very good. San Francisco's playing tomorrow at Shelter. And funnily enough, I'm down there for a wedding.
Of course you are. Yeah, no.
So, well, what do you mean, of course I am?
No, well, it's just happened to be there, which is fine.
I've put a little request out at San Francisco. So, look, I know you're playing at Shelter, but perhaps after the gig or maybe on the Saturday, maybe a little acoustic set down at the recovery for the wedding. What do you think?
Your weekend will be mild, or will it be...
Well, what do you think?
Well, Alex might have a say in it, but if you left your own devices, I think it could be different.
Yeah, correct. At least there's not a hippie club down there, I can tell you that. I'll be having a few shelters, though, I think so, Skeeter. So make sure you go and sort yourself out. If you're in Busselton for that, make sure you sort out the Shelter FootyCast quiz night. Tickets, you can grab some beers as well while you're there. Shelter FootyCast with 10% off beers right now on shelterbrewing.com.au. So, Skeeter, you're sitting here going, what are we
talking about? I am. I'm thinking, what's the list? I know there's an AFLW final here this weekend, and there's a bit happening with the schedule. The fixtures should be coming out, I think. I heard November 15th, 14th, yes.
14th of November.
Next week.
So our next show will be on the 14th. We'll be doing a live reveal of the fixture, Skeeter.
Fantastic.
And yeah, I've got a few things to get through. Look, I don't want you to go off. I don't want you to go off on some tangent about this and that. But Donald Trump's
isn't
he president?
He's a new president.
The boys are giving you shit over in Melbourne.
They were, because look, I'm actually not a Democrat, but I'm just not a huge fan of...
Why have you worn the blue shirt in then?
Because it's the one that was easiest to iron last night. So, yeah, why have you want a shirt with crap on the top of it? Anyway.
I've got 2 children.
No, I'll say this respectfully. The people have spoken, which is that's all you can do. The best man wins in this occasion. It's Donald Trump.
Well, he was the only man in the race.
Absolutely. Well, that is also a factor, I think, in my humble opinion, that I think it's very hard for a female to break through in that area.
Well, that's on the Democrats. They shouldn't have put a female up there then. If that's
also, you just don't put anyway. That's an argument. Look, there's lots of reasons. Bottom line is, it's going to be a peaceful transition of power, which I think the people have spoken with the voting, which didn't happen last time.
Which Donald couldn't actually.
Donald couldn't do. So I think let's hope he lives up to the hopes of Americans. It's a great country, but it's quite divided at the moment. But and you know what? At the end of the day, to be totally honest, it doesn't really affect our lives are going to keep going on in Australia.
That's kind of the way I've been.
Yeah.
Like, look, you and I aren't going to give a political breakdown of the world landscape right now, but like...
In Australia, I mean, I know there are going to be issues affecting Australia. I would rather it not been the case, but you know what? It's not going to change us going to the footy, having fun, enjoying our family.
Parking that to the side,
Yep.
What I have found overly humorous and watching this, can you imagine... if John Farnham, Chris Hemsworth, Nicole Kidman...
endorsed?
Any of these people jumped up during the Australian elections and Nicole Kidman tells me she's voting for Peter Dutton or Anthony Albert. I would literally be like, I could... Do you know what I mean? They'd be laughed. People would be doing the opposite to what these people are saying. In America... We got
Beyonce.
Bloody Beyonce. We've got Oprah. We've got Elon Musk. Like both sides.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan. Or the Hulk Hogan. We've got Dr. Phil. All these celebrity endorsements.
Yeah.
Just let me tell you. I think what I can say about you and I is we can have our opinions, but we also know no one really gives a shit what we think. And we're not, whatever you think, whatever I think, we're not. Why do these celebrities think people give a shit?
I think it's an influence. What I will say is the bottom line
influence of what? Shut up. You're a celebrity. Who gives a shit? You don't know anything about politics. Just like I know nothing about politics.
Yeah. What I will say is, I think to back up your point in a different way is that it is built around self-interest. So, for instance, if Albanese as Prime Minister is going to help you, and you look at the numbers, he's going to help you. You're going to back the horse that you think is going to help you and your family, or put more money in your pocket. So that, in the end, has been what Americans have gone for. It's about trying to get themselves into a better position, whether it's right or wrong, as opposed to having, as much as it's great to see the big rallies with all the big names. You're right. It's
not a popularity contest here as it is much.
It's a market. It's all about money there. And look, it's not the way I would want politics conducted in this country. Not to say ours is perfect either.
Okay, let's get into sports, Skeeter. There is a little bit going on. So while you've been gallivanting around at Flemington, Hawthorn won the McLelland Trophy, $1 million in prize money, share between the club and its players. So the two clubs here were Brisbane and Hawthorn. It came down to the last match of the AFLW season. Hawthorn got up. AFLW teams get double, so the points are worth double because Brisbane finished second.
Less matches, obviously.
Brisbane won the premiership in the men's, and I was thinking, well,
how
does Brisbane not win it? But that's how. Hawthorn get it done, $1 million. You'd be pretty bloody happy with that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, and again, depends how it's split amongst the players.
Apparently, it's 50-50.
Yeah, fair enough. Look,
so it's 50 and then 50.
And for those that haven't followed it, it first came into play where the men's and the women's were combined in 2023, which was won by Melbourne initially.
Right. So what happened before that?
Nothing. It was just the men's. I'm not sure what the dollars were, to be honest.
It could have been nothing.
Yeah, would have thought there was some financial inducement for. I mean,
but that's just winning the premiership, isn't it?
Well, the McLelland Trophy in the old days. Now I stand corrected. Was, and you grew up in Victoria, wasn't it with the league, the reserves, and the under-19s in combined? I stand corrected because I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it might have been the case before, of course, the AFL came into play. But
when was that? Like what era are you talking?
I'm
the
thinking
70s,
80s, 70s, yeah.
How would I know about that?
Well, because you at least grew up in Victoria, you might have some knowledge.
Wasn't born. You know my stance on this.
What year were you born again?
89.
Oh, so you got no idea about Essendon winning 84 if you haven't seen them win because you weren't born, didn't see it.
I love how much that triggers you.
But it's like, wasn't born then, don't give a rat's.
I wasn't sitting on the sidelines like you cheering along my team in the 1971 grand final like you were.
I was one, you dickhead.
Okay. All right, so Hawthorn, congratulations. Skeet, this has come across the desk. Umpire Lee Halson suspended for dressing up as Osama bin Laden at Umpires Mad Monday. So, again, like we spoke about the first time with GWS, I don't think we need to get too much into who wore what and what they did. However, off the back of this, I've seen a couple of articles come out that say Mad Monday should be banned. Done, dusted, all over. No more Mad Monday. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'd just like to quickly ask the question. The Giants function which got them into trouble, did that take place before this umpire function or about the same time, you're guessing?
I think it's the same. I think it's similar time.
Yeah, so one...
So GWS maybe a couple of weeks early because they didn't make the grand final.
The Giants...
The umpires was after the grand final.
The Giants story didn't come out before this happened, surely. And my point is, if Lee Howson had seen what happened to the Giants
correct.
then I don't know the timeline.
Correct.
It's interesting, again, speaking to guys in Melbourne, because we're in the media and the bubble, and there was some bloke who was saying, you kidding me, this is political correctness gone mad. And I sort of half agree with them, but I can also see the other side of it. But my question is, where does the buck stop? Is it like Osama bin Laden? That's offensive to a lot of people, obviously through 9/11 primarily. Do you put up, if you dress up as Dan Andrews, who a lot of people hated in Victoria as a premier during COVID? I'm confused. No, do I think Mad Monday should finish? No, not at all. I just think there has to be just a little regulation. I know you're going to say...
You know where I'm going to sit on this.
I know, of course I do. But I'm saying no. I don't think... Put it this way. My question again is, how have Geelong been able to do this for so long, so well, yet not come into any trouble?
In the end, this is about perspective. And Geelong are perceived, that's good humour, and like in the end, people are trying to be funny here. He's not trying to impersonate Osama bin Laden to take the piss out of 9/11 victims. That's not what Lee's done here. He's trying to have a laugh with his mates. And now, I just think it's such dangerous territory to be exactly what you're saying. Here's the line. Bin Laden's the line, but. Is there a line below that you can't be punished? So this is where people are saying, well, no, just ban it altogether. We can't do that. I hate overreacting of, a couple of people are stuffed up. Well, okay, we don't really know where the line is. We're not doing that anymore.
Let me ask this.
That's just bullshit.
You know Nick Nannui pretty well. At the time when, remember that young school boy, I think it was, dressed up as Nick Nannui, going to school and had the face painted, etc. Do you think he took offence to that or not?
Well, no. No, Nick wouldn't have taken offence to it.
No, I would have thought it was like this is me.
Maybe this is the thing. Okay, so if kids do it, but then if a grown man does it, then that's offensive. And then, so...
we're a bit confused. Look, I tend to agree with you. I'm not going to start telling people what they can...
But the point isn't about what you can dress as and what you can't dress as. And that's not the actual point. The point is here, this is in a private area, and you've got umpires standing around, and he's with his mates, and he's trying to have a laugh, and then oversteps the line, so now he's copying a week, and now the media knows about it. And I would just like to put a big widescreen camera across anyone that's not in the public eye, like an umpire who's barely in the public eye, and football players. Why don't we expand that to society? How many weeks suspensions society copying? Right? There's dickheads everywhere, and if we need to penalise everyone for a couple of dickheads or a couple of wrong decisions, I don't think that's the way to do it. Anyway, so that annoys me. Skeeter, staying in football, while you've been away, couple of rule changes been proposed to AFL clubs. So we went through this last time we spoke, and a couple of suggestions we had were stopping the ruck selection.
You want the hands up in primary school?
Who's the ruckman? Who's the ruck? Yeah, yes. I think we know. I can't remember if you came up with a good one or not.
No, I didn't.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Another idea anyway.
Okay, good. So I'm going to give you some, see what you reckon about them. Okay, so these are proposed to the AFL clubs. Number one, reducing the maximum time to play on from a free kick or mark from the usual 6 or 7 seconds. So the rule right now is you take your mark and you have 7 seconds. It's not 6 or 7, it's 7 seconds. So mark, get back off the lead, off the mark. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
To what though? They're saying to 5 seconds, for instance.
At 5, you get the whistle, move it along, please. 6, 7, play on. So that's what it is right now.
Okay.
They want maybe maybe the whistle comes at 3 or 4 seconds and then play on at 5.
No point asking me. You're the ex-player. How hard is it to have that 2-second differential?
I think 7 seconds is actually quite a long time. Like I just did, like it's longer than you think. So I don't think making it quicker would change the game in a bad way. It would make it faster. What I don't want to see, which the AFL want this, fast game. They don't want, stoppages. They don't want it all reset and all of that. But what I don't want to see, to be honest, is the footy. You've got a few.
It keeps beeping.
You've got a few things going on.
I
there.
don't know how to keep it quiet.
Can you speak to it? Can you say, "Hey Siri, shut up"?
Hey Siri, please be quiet.
Oh, jeez, I was wishing Siri.
Siri. No, it was a text message.
Siri, are you there?
It keeps beeping. So anyway, you know me with phones.
I don't want to see, and you might disagree, and people listening might. I don't want to see footy go back to the 70's and 80's, which was poor skill, which was no ability to defend, because it was just get the ball, kick long contest, quick handball, make it up, shit show. That's what 70's and 80's footy was.
There was good and
high
bad.
scoring,
There was good
high
and bad,
scoring,
which is the aim.
Right.
Everyone wants high scoring.
Okay, that's fine, but you can't sacrifice the skill of the game. You can't just say, we need to make it so fast with no interchange, that everyone's so cooked, that they're running around, that they can't hit a target, that, the best players are going to rise to the top because everyone's so tired. That's not what's going to happen. I just don't want to. I don't want to see the game get so fast that defenders have no chance. Right? Because back in the day, people talk about Stephen Silvani, one of the great fullbacks of all time. Right? He used to get bags of 10 kicked on him. Right? We don't see that anymore, do we?
No, because you got 6 blokes helping him out in defence.
Right. I don't want to see it go back to Stephen Silvani getting 10 goals kicked on him. I personally don't want to see that. I don't like seeing games of footy like that.
No, but by the same token, given what's transpired now, I think we can get a happy medium where we can actually see, as I say, more one-on-one contests. We want to see, we're not going to see Jakovic and Carey, those sorts of battles regularly now because of the way the game's played. But I think it can be. You talk about how ugly it was and less skillful in the 70s or 80s. I think at times it can be as ugly now as it was back then.
Sure,
if not more.
Yeah, so that's my point as well. You can pull every lever that you like. Players figure it out. There's never been more vision and education to players. So whatever levers these guys pull with any of these, the players and coaches will figure out how to play they want to play. There won't be a rule you can bring in that'll change the way the AFL want to do. So overall, I would like to just chill on the rule changes. I hope your watch just keeps beeping.
I don't know what's going on here. It's just a text. I can't keep it quiet.
How's your phone looking? You can't believe it survived race week. All right. Similar rule where the umpires should call play on more quickly after a behind. So right now it's probably 6 or 7 seconds, and then they can call play on. I'd be happy with that. That doesn't change much.
No, it doesn't really.
Whether the set shot clock, so you
30?
can see, down to 20.
20. That'd be interesting in terms of and particularly if it's a midfielder who's done some gut running to get to where they are
With 5 minutes to go in the last quarter.
Yeah.
And they've got to kick the goal to win.
So what's the rationale for that?
All of these are just quick in the game.
Quicken the game up.
Stop stoppages.
But our issue, and a lot of us, and I know Carl goes on about it Langdon religiously, is the accuracy at goal.
Yeah.
Will this affect it?
Well, any of these, how do you reckon this is going to go for any of them? All of them, right? We want higher scoring. If you give these forwards who bloody can't kick it through the big sticks at the best of the times, if you give them 10 less seconds to recover, they ain't going to kick better. I can tell you that. And so we're going to be having this discussion 6 weeks into the season. Accuracy's never been worse. What are these players doing? They're not working hard enough. How about the game's hard? How about, as much as I take the piss out of kicking goals, how about the game's never been harder, and these blokes actually need just a little bit to get their breath?
Imagine if you tried to do that in Matthew Lloyd's era. By the time he'd pulled his socks up and just started reaching for the grass, play on, kick the ball.
Lloyd is getting chased down from behind. Because, no, it's such a good point, because what will happen is you're going to these nippy small forwards that figure it out. I'm thinking Ballantyne back in the day, right?
Yeah.
That know, as soon as a mark's taken, he'll be going 1, 2, 3, getting ready, and they're creeping, and they'll be watching, and bang, blokes will be getting mowed down.
There'll be a clock on the big screen.
I know, but 20 seconds is a lot less than 30. In fact, it's 10 seconds less. So I just. And
by the time you go back, compose yourself. It's
careful what you wish for.
I agree.
For these ones,
I agree.
What about this one? I reckon you might like this. Scrap the 666 warning.
and just give a free kick.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, you see it time and time. How many warnings do you need before you actually are penalised?
Can I devil's advocate to this? So I kind of agree with it. But I think they're trying to avoid, with the warning, they're trying to avoid a team just getting the footy for it's a structural, like, it's a structural decision, right? It's not holding the ball or high or 50-metre penalty for holding or tripping. It's almost like a mechanism of the game that it's like they're trying to set it up. So they're like, look, we don't really want to penalise you. Can you get it right? But in saying that, it's the rule. And it's been there for a long time.
It's been there for a long time. We've seen so many occasions where players or teams have been warned and they've had to just slightly restructure.
What about a free kick off the back of the square instead of putting it in the middle of the ground and an instant inside 50? You get the ball, but it's at the back of your own.
So centre half back, for instance.
Yes.
Well, you know what?
You've got the footy.
You've got the footy.
And there's no pressure. Like it's not a play on roll the ball. It's not a pinball, throw it into the ground.
And you're right. Given the skill set of and the way that teams possess now, that you'd probably take that.
It would just stop, because what happens from the centre bounce when you get one in the middle of the ground? Every team does it. Just watch. We used to practice this all the time. Is all the forwards suck back, mids run forward, and you get a long ball 30 metres out from goal.
Yep.
And to be honest, it's difficult to defend, and it gives you an immediate scoring chance. So it's a big penalty to play. It's like a 50-metre penalty, really.
Yeah.
Thanks for your input.
I was listening to you. I was actually, as opposed to being a co-host, I was listening to you, and I was quite fascinated.
You're gonna host 2 hours of radio tonight.
Yeah.
How's it? 6 till 8?
By myself, yeah. So looking forward to that. If you want to give us a call on 122 at 9.
122, you reckon?
883. Whatever it's called, forgot the number.
If you want to see mental strength and you want to see resilience and hear it, I'd be tuning into 96PL. This is a man that's been just grinding at Flemington Racetrack for the last 6 days, and he still continues to work, Mark Reddings. It's just a brilliant thing to see.
Now, what else have we got? Any rules? What about...
All free kicks after a goal should be taken in the middle of the ground, regardless of which team gives away the free kick. So no more double goals.
So were you telling me
Jordan
the
Clark.
Fremantle Dockers would be going, 12 months too late?
Correct. So that goes back to the middle. That's probably the best of this lot.
That's a massive tick. I mean, you've seen teams get the double goal, rarely, but still there, and then you've looked at the replay and gone, I've got a feeling there was one at the SCG. Was it a final? Or certainly the SCG this year where player went to ground, you looked at it, went, is that a free kick?
Yeah, it was a Sydney.
It might have been
Sydney Jetta.
Yeah, it might have been whether it was a Warner or someone roughed up initially an opponent, then he got put to the ground.
Yes.
Whether it was him or Heaney. And
feels like something Papley would be involved in.
Yeah, probably. And then he went, hang on a sec, is that worth another goal straight away? So no, that you're right. I'm agreeing. That is the best of those little tweaks that I think you've just read out.
Hey, if we could just back it up on the punting scale, what was your best bet of the weekend?
So what I did was I just followed Jay McDonald. So James McDonald's a gun. So
used to play for Melbourne.
He did.
Was it the same person?
Different James McDonald. The bloke who actually won the Melbourne Cup was on The Voice, as you well know as well, Robbie Dolan.
Yeah, so that was true. He's on The Voice.
Yeah.
He's a singer.
Robbie, yeah.
But he's
Irish. Robbie Dolan, yeah.
But he's won the Melbourne Cup.
He's won the Melbourne Cup.
He's a singer.
But no, he has sung previously.
He's a jockey as well.
He sang with Ronan Keating, actually, 2 nights ago.
What's your favourite Ronan Keating song?
I used to play it for the girls.
Who did?
The twins, when they were about 2 years of age, in the back, they used to sing along and dance.
Did you used to play it?
I play the music, yeah. Turn the radio on and play it, yeah. So
what's your favourite song?
I mean, Loving Each Day is one they used to have a bit of a bounce around to.
Perfect. Good. How's that go?
No, he's like some sort of trap, like walking on Bangalore Street in I'm not going there.
Oh, that's brilliant. Very good. What do I start talking? Right. James McDonald, bet of the weekend. Yeah,
well, I backed a couple of his winners, but I've also backed a lot of losers.
Perfect. Now, and this is a bit more in your territory, so it's off the back of the Melbourne Cup. NRL player AJ Brimson shares screenshot of his bet slip of the Melbourne Cup winner. Right, $10,100. I think it would have been $10 on the winner.
Yeah, what have 100. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
$60.
You're
So
dead right. Yep. Also has a bet on an NRL game in there, sent to NRL Integrity Unit. Apparently, it's his mum's account. So there's 2 things here, Skeeter. One, If it's his account, he's in big trouble betting on the NRL. If it's his mum's account, I think it's worse. It's the stolen valor of putting your mum's betting account up, saying that you've won 10 grand, but your mum has. Like, which is worse, betting integrity or buddy stealing your mum's betting account?
Yeah, well, I love rugby league, as you know, but sometimes they're not that smart. And
What's he done?
AJ Brimson. I think he's at the Gold Coast. He certainly was at the Gold Coast. Titans, yep. So he's a decent player, but not obviously he's just lacking a bit in the. If that was on your screenshot, not a lot of common sense shown on that front. But the fact he backed the Melbourne Cup winner, how you could is beyond me. But given what it did in the Caulfield Cup, but yeah, well done to AJ Brimson.
Will Schofield, Mark Redding, Shelter FootyCast. Okay, very good. AFLW, Skeeter, the season is over. We're into finals this weekend. Chatted to Lisa Webb, the coach of the Freo Dockers women's side. She speaks brilliantly, by the way. Was lucky enough to call the game. Coming into finals, they've got some good players. They finished fifth. They were very close to having the double chance. Adelaide on the Friday night almost did them a favour, getting up over someone else. So they're going to be fifth. So they're playing at home against Essendon this Saturday at 4 p.m. Freo Oval. I expect a big crowd down there. There was 2,500 people for the last game of the year. I reckon they can get to 5,000.
Yeah, I would have thought, and I was actually thinking about that because I'm going to be down there on Saturday. I thought it might have been above 5. I'm not sure what the capacity is, but why wouldn't it be? They haven't played finals for a bit. Freo Oval. Yeah, maybe you're right with 5, but I would have thought there'd be a really good turnout for what could be, their only home final of the series.
If the weather's good, mate, like this Saturday just gone, they beat the Bulldogs. Mate, it was a brilliant sort of scene. There's a lot of families down there. You can go on the Oval. It's more of a community feel. And there's 2,500 people down there. I reckon you should go over 5. So if you're a Dockers fan, get down and support your girls in an elimination final against Essendon this week. Big game. Mim Strom, she's a gun.
She can play.
She is a genuine gun. Like she had 30 hit-outs, 30 touches, 10 marks. It was one of the better games I've ever seen.
I remember interviewing her. She came into the radio station when I was working at near the camp.
Speaks well.
Not just that. Apparently her mum's, I think her mum's just a crazy supporter and good value, good colour. But I was surprised because I've commentated her. I think I did the first ever derby for 7 and she was, again, in the ruck playing forward. I thought, she's, quite tall, 6 foot or so. She's actually quite diminutive face to face. I mean, and I was surprised, given her ability with hit-outs, at how well she plays in that area. So, well done to Mim Strom.
She had the most hit-outs ever.
That's huge. Won the Derby medal this year as well. So, look, let's get behind Freo. Let's not be unbiased about this. They're at home, and Lisa Webb, I know husband Mark, work with him, terrific fella. So let's hope they can get across the line.
West Coast Eagles tick 4 wins, better than they've been.
Yeah, no
under
question.
Daisy Pearce, you'd have to put a fair few ticks to that.
No question. I mean, Daisy, we know she came across on huge dollars, but you've still got to come across and get results and change the trajectory of the club, which she has done successfully. So 4 wins, I think. Well, put it this way. If you added up their wins in the entirety of the history of the AFLW for the Eagles, I think that just about got it covered anyway. So, no, she's been a breath of fresh air in the sense of bringing some success to the club.
Be interesting to see if she puts any work into the men's side now. She was out-and-out men's team coach at Geelong. We had Isaac Smith in here a few weeks ago on BackChat, and he said she's a brilliant coach.
Can you do both? Can you? I mean, the time...
As in...
AFLW or AFLW into, can you do...
Well, the season's ended for them now. She'll have some weeks off and they don't start again until, September next year. Yeah. So, absolutely.
Well, it depends.
Especially in the pre-season.
Is that part of a contract?
I'd be very surprised if she's not dabbling in helping the men's side improve, given her knowledge and...
What she's been paid.
Well, yes, but what Isaac Smith said about her, he's with the same belief as me. She'll be the first senior men's women coach.
Yep. I say this with all due respect, given what we've just seen in America and with the election. Do we think that we, in our lifetime, will see a senior women's AFL coach?
Yep, Daisy Pearce.
So if that's the case, it'll be in the next 5 years.
Are you dying? Are you dead in 5
No,
years?
you're saying Daisy Pearce. I mean, No, I'm saying in the next...
In our lifetime.
No, but you're saying Daisy Pearce is going to be the first AFL senior men's coach.
Yeah, and you're asking in our lifetime?
I asked you in our lifetime. You said yes, Daisy Pearce. So I said off the back of that, do you think it's within 5 years? Given, I mean, in 10 years from now, Or do you think in 10 years from now she'll get a job?
Well, I think Daisy Pearce in our lifetime will be a senior coach in the men's game. Yes.
Okay, you can't. Yeah, I'm not that.
Not in 5 years.
Okay, so that's my point. Is it, do you think within 5 years you can get to that mark, or you think it's more than that?
I think Daisy might be, I don't know,
she'll be 30,
late
early
30s,
like mid-30s, whatever it is. Yeah.
Whatever that. She got 20 years.
Yeah.
At least. How old's Chris Fagan?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's 60 something.
I'm saying I've got.
If we don't have a, I'd be very surprised. I'd be very. So if Chris Fagan's 63, if Daisy has till 63, and so she's got about 30
Well, she
years.
won't have 63, but she might have
not?
the next 10 years.
Why not?
Well, if you're not a senior coach in 10 years from now, I just don't think you're going to be.
What's the logic in that?
Well,
Chris Fagan.
Chris Fagan got his first gig at probably, 50 something? I'm
Sure.
guessing.
Okay, so I'll give Daisy 20 years. Yes, I think Daisy Pearce will be a head coach at a men's program within the next 20 years.
My point.
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. I'm saying to you, given how we operate in sport and in politics in this country, whether we've got the gumption.
I mean, we've had a female prime minister.
She wasn't elected in. It's just bear in mind, and she was.
Skater sounds like a political.
No, I'm saying I want more. I reckon women should be better leaders in many ways.
And I'm telling you, she's going to be.
Okay, well, if that's the case, good. I just have doubts given our
Sounds like you
culture
don't
of
think.
sport. I've
Sounds
got
like you
question
disagree.
marks.
Sounds like you disagree.
I'm disagreeing.
No, Chris Fagan was like 57, 56.
Chris Fagan wasn't a head coach till he was 57 years old.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think Daisy Pearce will be 57 if she gets a job. She'll be a lot younger than that.
Why? Why
Well,
is
if she's
it
any good, she'll be a senior coach well before 57.
So why wasn't Chris Fagan a coach before?
Well, because he was in other roles. He wasn't actually in an assistant coaching role for most of it.
So that's what Daisy Pearce is doing.
She might look. I hope you're right. I'm just saying, women in sport in Australia, in the AFL, a very masculine part of Australian sport. I think it's a Mount Everest to climb.
Thank you very much, Skater. Now, cricket, Skater. This is something that you do know about, and I know nothing about. What's actually going on at the moment? I'm seeing India. Is India tampering with balls?
Well, there's allegations up there in Mackay. It's
Quite sweeping it under the rug.
a bit of scratching of the ball.
Cricket Australia just going nothing to see here.
Well, it's very hard to try and take on India at the best of times, let alone at the start of a series in Australia where obviously they're so powerful. You have to go back to like Monkeygate scandal where Andrew Simons was talking about the racial stuff and allegations were made. Well, India denied it and then basically threatened to go home. So essentially you don't try to rattle the cage of India because of their power. They're easily the number one cricketing nation in the world for power. So I think this incident, I think there's probably some validity to the umpires questioning it, but for the sake of the series, etc. to come, Cricket Australia said nothing to see here, boys and girls, and that sounds no surprise.
That sounds.
Does it surprise you? It doesn't surprise me. Given India holds so much power, Scully, and they will just go home at the drop of a hat if they think they're being.
But what if they're ball tampering?
It doesn't matter.
So they can do what they like.
Basically, they can do as they please because of the financial power they have.
Nathan McSweeney
Yes.
firms as Australia's next test opener. Now, this is no disrespect to Nathan.
Oh, well,
I have never heard that name in my life.
No, that doesn't surprise me.
Never. He scored 39, 88 not out in Australia v India.
He's batted at number 3, by the way, for South Australia. Never opened in first-class cricket.
Pardon me if I haven't been keeping focus on the South Australian.
I'm not criticising you, but you're trying to defer to me with cricket, and then you start going, "Oh, I know nothing about this bloke." I'm just trying to give you some update on him.
Bancroft, Constance, and Harris all struggled.
Yep, they have, and they haven't made enough runs over the past month. Particularly Bancroft, from a WA perspective, it just hasn't scored the runs in Shield cricket. McSweeney has. It's all about timing your form at the right moment, and that's exactly what McSweeney's doing. So if he can score some runs against India A, who've lost a bunch of early wickets day one today, if he can frank that with another half century, for instance, opening the batting, he'll partner Usman Khawaja here at the first test at Optus Stadium, where you and I will both go at some stage and have a shelter.
That's what I am looking forward to. Now, it's a pretty wild thing, cricket. Like there's one spot in the whole country available to open. Like Khawaja's got it, and then there's not many other sports like that.
Well, particularly when you've got a settled side like Australia. I mean, the guy that's a bit unlucky at the moment is Josh Inglis. WA is going to captain Australia in the ODI
and T20. Is that because Mitch is injured?
A bit of that, but also, that's also an endorsement of what he's doing. But at the moment, because of the batting lineup, and Alex Carey's playing pretty well in his batting role, that Josh is having to not play Test cricket, which is the ultimate in any cricketer's career.
Very good. What about, captaincy, Josh Inglis, as you said, T20 ODI. David Warner, happy with him being captain of the Sydney Thunder? I heard him absolutely tooting his own trumpet on radio yesterday, talking about his wealth of knowledge.
There's a bit of fig jammery there.
Well, I just don't think he speaks very well. And I think people don't like him because he comes across in a certain way. But hearing his teammates speak about him, I don't think he is that way. No, I think he just doesn't represent himself very well.
He probably doesn't speak as
It's not about being eloquent. It's the word. It's like he gets sort of. I reckon he gets a bit sort of intimidated maybe or something in the media. And he thinks he needs to sound smarter than he is, and he just ends up sounding.
Or maybe he tries to make bigger statements than that are required. But should the ban be lifted for him? Absolutely. I mean, how long do you have to get penalised for? We talked about what's happening with India at the moment. There'll be nothing happening there. There've been blokes biting balls from cricket balls, a Footy biting the cricket ball, blokes with lollies, Marcus Trescothic. We made a blue with sandpaper, absolutely. But I think David Warner has more than served his penance on that front.
I agree, but devil's advocate, why put a lifetime leadership ban in the first place? Then it was
because it was the rage it was a rage of politicians, and it was a rage of the cricket community thinking that we should take the highest stance possible whereas the ICC with the sandpaper gate, which was their penalty, believe it or not, was I think 1 or 2 test matches, 1 or 2. Yet our blokes got 12 months. So I think they're too shallow with their penalties, and we were too harsh.
Well, what does even just this first chat we've had about cricket on the Shuttle FootyCast tell you about the state of that game? Like, or lifetime ban, actually don't worry about it. Ball tampering. India's too big. Don't want to do that. Like, I mean, what are we doing? Like, come on, Skeeter.
It's fine.
I am looking forward to Australia v India. By the way,
it should be a good series.
Like that's
Virat Kohli.
That's almost better than Australia v England.
Bumrah. Yeah, it's up there. They're the two nations. We've got them back-to-back years, so it should be fun.
All right, get steady, get ready. Anything coming to Perth? There's an ODI here on the 10th of November. That's Sunday.
This Sunday, is it?
Yeah.
It is. No, well, to be honest with you, everyone's really looking forward to the weekend after that. I think it is when, Australia takes on India. First test is here, I think, 22nd or 23rd.
The West Test.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking. You're right. It's huge. It's exciting.
Can we book in a day that we can have a couple of shelters?
Oh, be more than happy.
You take me along?
Yeah, I just got to
put the card in the credit card. Or is it all gone? Does Victoria cut you off? Yes, in all facets. Will Scoville, Mark Redding, Shuttle FootyCast. Oh no, we're finishing off now because Skeet's got to get to a
work.
Breakfast or a function or an MC gig or somewhere. God knows what. G'day, boys. I have a question for Scully and Skeeter around the state of the game. As it has been a point of discussion this week surrounding the broadcast money, so we covered this a couple of weeks ago, and the investment into lower levels of footy, i.e. community development, what is the obligation of the AFL in supporting the state leagues like Sandful and the Waffle? Surely it is beneficial for the AFL to have thriving content through multiple levels, providing entertainment products as affordable prices. As it currently stands, both the Waffle and Sandful pay for their content to be shown on Channel 7 platforms, as well as smaller streaming platforms. With the VFL only attracting a crowd of 5,000 in the grand final, the Waffle saw 25,000 and Sandful saw 35,000. Without strong state leagues, the AFL will face a similar situation as the A-League, with no support for the development pathways in Western Australia or South Australia. So, the question being, should the AFL be fronting up for the Sandful and the Waffle in terms of broadcast availability?
It's a good question.
You might be a little bit conflicted here. I don't know.
No, I'm not conflicted at all. I'm just trying to work out what it's actually a good question. I think it goes to where the AFL, with their pot of money, which is not insignificant with the broadcasting rights,
it's going up.
Yeah, exactly. Where they spread that money to and how important. We know the female game has taken a lot of money out of, is being used to facilitate the growth of that game. Is there enough money being used in junior football to keep that going? I guess you're better placed with Auskick to maybe talk on that. And mine, with regards to that, who is that correspondent?
That was Anonymous.
Anonymous, okay. I think I know the anonymous person. Is the Waffle and Sandful, which is, particularly at Colts level, is massive for producing draftees to go into the AFL system. So, yeah, I think it's important to have that next level. I'm not sure now, you're not, given the Waffle hasn't been something you've grown up with, but I think it's important to have that still there for, for those that, even if they're not aspiring to play AFL footy, but yeah, the support from the AFL, a bit more financial support, I think would certainly be welcome because there's not too many waffle clubs making money.
No.
It's a tough grind at the moment.
But do they make money from the broadcast deals? Not really. They just get eyes on the game. Don't they make money from people walking in the door?
Walking through the gates, if you're going to get 1,000 people max, it's more about maybe trying to bring a sponsor to the table. What I'm told, it's, on the day when you
so they need to get more people to rock up, right?
Yeah, which is difficult because you've got a crowded market. The AFL, see, just in brief, in the AFL, we've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday footy.
Yep.
So not much space for a waffle competition or sample. In the NFL in America, as you know, they have their Thursday night football. They have Saturday left to college football, which to replicate would be the waffle, for instance.
Yep.
And then Sunday and Monday is NFL. So they have, whether it's by choice or obviously college football's huge over there, but whether that really helps keep those two groups thriving remains to be seen.
But if you look specifically here in Western Australia, they have the ability to compete with people walking in the gate. There's only one game here a weekend in AFL. Right? It's on the West Coast of Freo once a week.
So you're looking at 45, 50,000 are going there.
That's happening. But outside of that time, there is people that like football in this state and people with families, and there's people that like getting on and having beers. I think waffle clubs in general, and this might not be a waffle thing, this might be club specific, they need to be making a bigger deal out of the can bar on the hill. They need to be doing it family friendly. They need to put a pig pen up there. They need to put a bouncing castle. And they're surrounded by. I'm telling you right now, as a father of two young kids, if I saw, East Perth, where we got a kids play farm and it's next to the bar, and I could stand in the bar and my kids could run them up, I'd be straight there.
Yeah, and
so that's what the marketing element.
But to be fair, that has been called a waffle wonderland this season, where they've tried to do exactly that. But as you know, there's so much competition for eyeballs to different sports, different opportunities that, to get particularly the young people to waffle games is not easy.
I think it's on the individual waffle clubs to buy into that waffle wonderland.
Yep.
And you need to engage people with bigger audiences, i.e. BackChat, i.e. 6PR, i.e. whoever you want to do it. Don't try and do it by yourself.
Well, social media, I think, is, with all due respects, probably the best way to connect with younger demographics.
But like, people that follow East Perth aren't the people you want going there. You want people from around. You want people that like football that might not necessarily go for East Perth.
It's like going to the races during the summer carnival.
Yes.
Like you'll come to the races with me, for instance, it's a big crowd, big day.
Correct. But I'm not going.
You're not going there because you know it's the Winterbottom Stakes.
Correct. I don't even know what that is.
It's a horse race.
Thank you very much, Skeeter. That's going to do us because you've got a God knows what.
I've got to go to Washington DC to try and solve what's happening with
Sleepy Joe.
He's Gonski. But you know what? They had a phone call, and as hard as that was, you know what you're going to do in defeat, Will?
Cop it.
You got to cop it on the chin and get back up on your feet.
I'm surprised Joe was able to make a phone call. Socials, Shelter FootyCast. My throat's gone, which should be good to MC a wedding tomorrow. I'm going to shut up for the rest of the time. Skeeter, we're done. Go and get your tickets for the quiz night.
Until next we meet.
Bye-bye.